What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I want to talk about a subject today. I kind of touched on it briefly about elite fighters versus aging elite fighters and how the torch should be passed, the respect of passing the torch. You know, and it's really passing the torch is really the progression of boxing from one generation to another generation. Let me explain. Prime example. When Anthony Joshua knocked out Wladimir Klitschko in the 11th round of their bout last year, which was a great fight. I mean, it was a great fight. The aging elite fighter, which is Wladimir Klitschko, showed his skill set, showed why he is who he is and why he was there as long as he was. Okay? Anthony Joshua, being the young elite boxer, showed why he's an elite boxer. And it went down to tooth and nail. You know, you had back and forth rounds, you had much excitement. You know, Wladimir proved that he still had stamina, still had skill, and he went out on his shield. Okay, that's how aging fighters must accept and take on the challenge of fighting the new or the next elite fighter, okay, that's coming to replace them. That's how it is. That's why I never gave Floyd Mayweather Jr. respect. I never gave Manny Pacquiao respect, because these guys, they finally fought each other, okay? But after that, Floyd never fought the elite guys on his level. He fought Andre Berto. You know, Andre Berto's not a bad fighter. And this is not to bash Andre Berto. This video isn't to bash a particular fighter, but it's just to show and call out particular fighters, you know, that didn't pass the torch. Manny Pacquiao, same thing. Manny Pacquiao, he did fight Jesse Vargas, and if you could argue, Jesse Vargas was, you know, a good fighter, but he wasn't the elite fighter, okay? He beat Jesse Vargas, and right after that, Manny Pacquiao. And anybody that follows this channel knows that I've made videos addressing why Manny Pacquiao back last year, the year before last, should fight someone like Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. You know, all these elite guys. You know, Earl Spence was up and coming. You know, he was that hungry guy that nobody wanted to fight. I wasn't necessarily talking about him because, you know, he's a young guy. He's really, unto this day, he's knocking a lot of people out. He's getting a lot of buzz, but he's not the guy that hasn't really been tested. Maybe once, you know, and that's Kell Brook. But anyway, really, Manny Pacquiao should have fought at least one of those guys while he was still able to. Not a third fight with Bradley, a guy that you've beat twice already. Not Jesse Vargas, because Vargas was beat by the guy that you just beat, which was Timothy Bradley. Not any of them. So, you know, that's the normal progression of how things are, you know, are not progressing. They're not. That's the problem with boxing today. You know, people forgot their way. People forgot they're going against the grain. They're going against the order of things. The true order of things is, if you feel that you are an elite fighter, you should fight the best elite fighter at that time. So if that person takes you out, okay, hang your guard up and say la vie, okay? Because that's how it's supposed to go. That torch will be passed. That fighter will have the respect of beating the most recent current elite fighter or champion around. Look at De La Hoya Chavez. Look at De La Hoya Pacquiao. Okay? That's why these torches were passed from one person to the next person, from generation to generation. See, Floyd, I understand his money and his, you know, his situation with that. You know, he picks fortune over fame, but at the same time, the legacy on a guy like Floyd Mayweather, you know, he will never show his true potential, and he never showed it. He never cared to show it. That's if he could show it at all. So it's either, okay, well, he should have fought someone like, again, he should have fought Keith Thurman. Why did he fight Andre Berto? You know, Andre Berto wasn't a guy to beat. That was just a guy he picked. And what kills it is the fans of the sport that say, well, Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather, they've earned their right because they've done so much in the sport of boxing. Well, you know, you could argue that, but I would disagree, because it takes a guy that is just as good as you, or just as good as you used to be, to beat you, okay? So you can go out on your shield and let that next person have that respect of beating you, just like Wladimir Klitschko did. So the only person I'm really acknowledging that done the natural order of things is Wladimir Klitschko. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Floyd didn't do it, Manny didn't do it. And then really, for the last 2 or 3 years after their primes, these guys have been really trying to stay relevant. Like Manny, he's trying to stay relevant by fighting Matisse. You know, Floyd just, you know, came back for another money grab, you know, which was smart, but at the same time, you're not giving your the current boxers the opportunity to take that O, to fight you. I mean a real fight. I don't mean a fight with McGregor, a UFC fighter. I'm not talking about that. You know, he wanted to make fights. It was a spectacle, and it sold, because this is Floyd. He has great marketing power, but at the same time, he has no real true respect for boxers. If you wanted to get in there with a UFC guy, but didn't get in, or get in there with a guy that has 4 losses on his belt already, which was Andre Berto, what's the point? You know what I mean? You're supposed to fight like guys like, again, Keith Thurman. He could have fought Thurman. Thurman was undefeated. Danny Garcia was undefeated at that time. You know, that would have been a good fight. And then, or Landy Lara. You know, guys like that. Somebody that had a chance of beating you at that time. You know what I'm saying? Because looking at Floyd, even the way he fought McGregor, there would be no way that he would probably compete. But he knew that, you know. I mean, and I don't know. Maybe that was his game plan. That was his game plan to tire out McGregor. But, you know, McGregor wasn't a true boxer, okay? McGregor hasn't took boxing professionally since he was a kid. So, no, he's not a professional boxer. He's a UFC fighter, okay? So, but yeah. But with Manny Pacquiao, you know, things happen in certain instances. Like Manny took the fight with Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn had no business being in there with Jeff Horn. You know, that's why, of course, Jeff Horn fought Terrence Crawford. But Manny Pacquiao honestly should have fought Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford was the best guy currently, and Manny Pacquiao was the recent best guy, or the second best guy currently. Okay, and Terrence Crawford needed that rite of passage, the passing of the torch, that needed to be demonstrated, or at least give him the opportunity to fight for that belt. You know what I mean? Or fight for that respect, because that's what it is. It's a respect thing. You know, I know the Joshua Klitschko thing. It was about belts, you know what I mean? Because it was belts online, but it was more than just belts. It was about respect. You know, you beat Wladimir Klitschko, and Klitschko was the man. You know what I mean? Make no mistake about it. And people might argue, well, Tyson Fury beat him, but that was a lackluster fight. You know what I mean? And I don't think, honestly, I don't think Tyson Fury would have won a rematch between Klitschko. I think Klitschko would have knocked out Tyson Fury at this time, because he would, you know, he would have took him a lot more seriously, and he's been in the ring with him. So I think that Wladimir would have been a problem for anybody, and that's Wilder, Joshua, the Tyson rematch, the Fury rematch. So I think Wladimir was the man. So a lot of these guys, they should learn a lot from Wladimir Klitschko, because Klitschko showed, hey, I'm the elite fighter. I'm going to fight the best elite current guy around. Because that's what real champions do. Real champions don't fight guys that they know that they can beat, that don't even belong in the same ring with them. They don't do that. Things like Manny Pacquiao did and Floyd Mayweather did, it's unacceptable for the real true sport of boxing. Because the true sport of boxing, you don't duck the best guys and then fight someone that is an easy fighter or a pick 'em fight. Oh yeah, well we're you know, all the strategizing and the, you know, no. That's not how true boxing is. But at the same time, it's like, okay, once you've been beaten by the next current guy, okay, because there is a twist to this. Once you've been beaten, like let's say Floyd would have went in there and fought, let's say Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia or Sean Porter and lost, okay? Well, at that time, he should hang it up. And I'll be the first one to tell you that I hate to see any fighter fight past their prime and just take beatings because they're not on that elite level and they think they are, and they're, you know, and I guess their mind plays tricks on them, you know, or the ego or whatever, and they end up getting beat up and damaged and taking a lot of punishment at the end of their career, which they shouldn't do. You know, the punishment should have already been done in their career if it's going to happen. It should happen during their career, not at the very end, okay, on the highlight of their career. So, you know, I want to make that known. So I don't want to make it seem like, hey, why would you put Manny Pacquiao in there with Keith Thurman? You put Manny Pacquiao with Keith Thurman because Manny Pacquiao, for a while, but you know, prior to the Jeff Horn fight, was still a force to be reckoned with in the welterweight division. He showed that with Jesse Vargas. But at the same time, why would you even fight Vargas? You should have fought someone more elite. Okay, the three guys I mentioned, he should have fought one of them. Mayweather could have fought one of them. You know what I mean? Even if they would have fought one of them, they would have showed that, hey, I'm fighting the top guys because I'm still the top guy. Does that make sense? That's what I want to address. So I acknowledge Wladimir Klitschko for going to the true art of things, of passing the torch like he did to Anthony Joshua. And that's what we have today. You guys tell me what you think about it. Leave your comments, concerns below. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.